Hello, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Theo, and this is my vlog for the week, hopefully. It is a longer one, an hour-long one. The reason for that is because I have a lot of footage on my iPad and my phone, and I need to get it off, to be honest. It's taking up too much space. I'm afraid that Procreate, like if you don't have enough storage on your iPad, it kind of glitches. Procreate kind of glitches. So I'm doing everything in my power to not have that happen because I edit all of my videos on my iPad. And of course, I'm screen recording them on my iPad as well. But now that little explanation is over, so I am still in November with these vlogs, but it is December 2nd, and as I'm recording this voiceover, so I'm also trying to, I guess you could say, catch up to the current time a little bit, or not be so behind in posting these and recording them. But yes, so for the art I am drawing, you will see, I believe, that it is a drawing of my dog. Her name is Reina, and she is going to be wearing a little Hello Kitty hat thing. Which is funny because she doesn't like wearing hats in real life. She will rip it off with her paws. But to talk a little bit more about this painting, this is the first time I feel like I've drawn an animal, a recognizable animal, pretty well. And I owe it all to the brush I was using. It's by Jin Sketch. Before I even had an iPad and Procreate, when I was using my Surface Pro with Clip Studio, I was getting this man's or woman's advertisements for their brushes like nonstop. And I'm like, how can I on Instagram, how can I say stop showing me these ads, because I don't have an iPad and I don't have Procreate, and I'm seeing this ad like 10 times a day. It was honestly a little annoying at times, but I finally got my iPad and I went straight to Jin Sketch to check out those brushes that I've been advertised for years and now I can finally use. So yes, the brush that I used to make the fur, which was how I made my dog Reina look so convincing, I think it's his free pack. They're free pack. I did not purchase any brushes. And it's like the soft chalk, I believe. So A1 help from that brush. It did all the work. But yes, I can't remember if I said this in my last video, but along with my dog, she has been a little sick the last 2 weeks, which was very stressful. At first, she wasn't eating, and then they told us there's maybe something wrong with her liver. So they had given her fluids. She had x-rays done, like a sonogram. They thought it was like PIO, something like that. She's not, spayed. I think it's spayed for girl dogs. So she's not spayed, and they're like, well, sometimes when they're not, then they get this really horrible, health problem because of their uterus, and it gets infected, and it's really bad. So they did like a PIO scan on her, I think they called it, and hallelujah, she was negative for that, because actually last year around this same time she developed kidney stones. So last year she had a surgery, her kidney stones were removed, and they have not reappeared, hallelujah. So I'm hoping they never do. But yes, I think I will start seriously thinking about getting her spayed. And the reason I haven't is because, well, my mom, she's always like, oh, my grandmother had so many dogs and they were never neutered and spayed or anything like that, and they were perfectly fine. And sometimes I just want to tell her, like, yo, like, that was a different time. That was back in like the 40s, 50s, 60s, and like 70s. I don't make like vet technology obviously improved. They figured out like different problems. So just because it wasn't happening to your grandmother's dogs doesn't mean it wasn't happening to other dogs. So yes, little rant there. But my mom is, I think, finally on board of being like, okay, maybe we should get her spayed because she's been having health problems every year around the same time. But yes, my dog is good. I think she's finally okay. Because when she was going through those health problems, I went to the vet like 4 times in 1 week. So that was not fun for me or for her. But yes, now she's good, thankfully. Hallelujah. Let's see. Well, so I'll go to my goals. Always gotta revisit the goals, gotta remember them. So one of my goals was to draw for 15 to 20 hours a week. For basically the whole month of November, I was more or less in that range. Yeah, I hit like 15, 16-hour mark for the first 3 weeks of November. But then the last week of November, it was like 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours. And that's mainly because I have 2 jobs. I work an office job and also a retail job. So I worked Black Friday, the Saturday, and then the Sunday following Black Friday. And I'll be honest, that was kind of tough. I was tired. I was like, well, Friday and Saturday, they actually weren't that bad. But Sunday was awful, not because of people or customers, but just because I was in the mindset like, hey, Sunday is like my day to relax before I have to go to my office job. So yeah, it sucked in that aspect of not having that relaxed day. And that's also the days when I want to try to record these voiceovers and edit my videos. Like right now it's Tuesday. I'm working from home. Hopefully none of my coworkers ever see these videos. I don't think so. But yeah, and I'm recording this while I'm working from home. Thank you. I'm very grateful for my office job that I do have these opportunities to build things up and to practice my art. But yes, so I'll just talk about what I drew today and yesterday as like December 1st and December 2nd. So yesterday, I worked on Marco Bucci's Total Guide to Figure Drawing course that I purchased. And he went over the muscle groups of the arm. And I've been trying to study the muscle groups of the arm for the whole month of November, basically. Along with like the chest area, but mainly the arms. And so before yesterday, I was, disappointed in myself because I couldn't remember. I stopped like reviewing the arm muscles every single day, and I was like, okay, let's take a break and try to do a recall. And while I was doing my recall session, I couldn't remember specifically like what these muscles were, how do they fit together and all of that. So I was super, super disappointed in myself. However, watching Marco Bucci's videos on the arm, like it clicked. Like truly, it was amazing how kind of effortless he made it feel. But it was probably also because I was familiar with the muscle groups. Because I do think like if I had watched his videos with no concept of the arm muscles, I would have gotten a lot out of it. But I don't think it would have clicked like it did for me yesterday. Like I was just, I don't know, it was just like it was a revelation. And it's kind of like common sense things that I didn't really put together even today. So I work out and I exercise, and I was looking at my arm and I was like, that's the bicep. This shape I'm seeing, this kind of U shape I'm seeing is the bicep. And it sounds so stupid, but like I don't know, it just made sense to me all of a sudden. So that's one thing I try to do a lot, is just look at my own arm and look at the muscles, see how they move, see what shapes they take, So it's fascinating when I look at my own body and I'm like, oh, okay, I see, I understand. Also, so in my last video, I was talking about this one line on the arm I had no idea about, and I'm like, well, what is this? I don't understand. What is this? And Marco Bucci actually made it click for me too. So basically, that arm, when like, say like you have your arm straight, I'll put a picture, but when you have your arm straight and your thumb is facing you and your pinky is facing outward, sometimes there's a line that you can see. And Marco was like, hey, that's the ulna bone. And that just like mind blown me, because it makes sense, because I'm like, you can see this on skinny people and you can see this on muscular people. So what is it? What muscle is this? And it wasn't a muscle. At least I don't think so. It's a bone. So that's how I'm, what's the word? Rationalizing it, is that it is the ulna bone. And so something that he also said that also made it click for me is that the ulna bone, so that's the bone that connects to the side of your pinky in your lower arm. The ulna bone also connects like to the back of your elbow. He didn't say this, but this is how I'm rationalizing it. This is how I'm thinking about it. I don't know if this is completely true, but I think the ulna bone also is what helps your arm to hinge, to have that hinge joint, so you can move your arm up and down at just the elbow. So yes, and I guess a little more arm anatomy since I'm here and I'm talking about it. You have two bones in your lower arm. Your ulna, which is the bone that goes from the back of your elbow to your pinky, which is the ulna. And then you have your bone on the other side that attaches to your thumb, which is called the radius. And so when you have your arm like face, like palm up, the two bones are parallel to each other. However, when you have your arm with your knuckles facing out, knuckles out or up, then the radius bone crosses over the ulna bone. And I just think that's fascinating. Like, what do you mean this bone in my arm is crossing over and like I don't feel it? Like there's no friction, you know? It's just so fascinating. Like, how is that possible? How do these two bones not bump into each other? And it's probably because of the muscle's cushioning things. But it's interesting. It is very interesting learning about the body. I can see why scientists and doctors like learning about it. So yes, and of course, the way your palm facing out is like the natural resting position of your arms and hands. So the radius is naturally kind of always crossed over the ulna. And remember, the radius is the bone on the thumb side of your hand, and the ulna is on the pinky side of your hand. And the radius crosses over the ulna when your knuckles are facing outward, basically the resting position of your hand, usually. So yeah, and I guess I can talk more about the arm because I just learned about it. I'm sorry, it has nothing to do with what I'm drawing right now, but so there are a lot of complex muscles in your lower arm. However, I am not going to learn every single one of those muscles. So, in the lower arm, you have the brachialis and the extensor carpi radialis longus, I believe, something like that. And your brachialis and the extensor carpi radius longus form the ridge muscles, or what people call the ridge muscles in your forearm. And the brachialis actually starts on the upper side of your arm. So the brachialis starts on the upper side, and it's a muscle in between your tricep and your bicep. So it snakes between those two, and then I think it connects somehow. It doesn't connect, but it comes together with the extensor carpi radius longus, and then they wrap around your lower arm and kind of tethers into tendons to the thumb. So I'm trying to explain this coherently. So your ridge muscles, the brachialis, radius, and the extensor carpi radius longus, again, the ridge muscles, they start on the kind of... So they start on the ulna side of your lower arm. So that's kind of like your outer arm. And then when your arm is in its natural resting state with the knuckles facing up, the ridge muscles curve around. They kind of they follow the radius. When the radius is kind of turning, they follow the radius in a way, and they wrap around your arm, and the muscles turn into tendons, and the tendons go into your hand. I have no idea if that made sense to anybody else, but it made sense to me. So a lot of your arm muscles turn into tendons and that go into your hand. And I don't know anything about the hand muscles. I know like one thing about the wrist muscle, which is the tunnel. And with the tunnel, if you do not stretch your wrist, you will develop something called carpal tunnel. So even if you don't draw, even if you don't write, if you are typing, honestly, everyone should be stretching their wrist every day, at least once a day for 30 seconds, because carpal tunnel is not fun. It is very painful, I've heard, and I think there is surgery for it, not entirely sure. However, just me personally thinking about having to get surgery on my wrist, it freaks me out. Ooh. So I'm going to go stretch my wrist right now. I'll be back in 1 second. All right, I'm back. It is a few hours later. I have ended my workday. I have ate lunch, ate dinner. I went to my workout class, and I did 3 hours of drawing. Yay! Today was a very successful day. Yes, I'm going to say it was very successful because I did do a lot with minimal procrastinating. But I guess I'll go ahead and just talk about my day a little more. So I go to a workout class. And with this class, there's like a beginner, and then there's like beginner intermediate. But honestly, I just feel like it's intermediate because everybody else in the class is so far ahead of me and can do so many more tricks and moves and things like that. And sometimes it really sucks because I'm like so far behind everyone. This particular fitness class I've been doing since mid-March maybe. But I did have to take about 2 months off because of just life and my mom's health condition. So yeah, that kind of set me back a little bit, but I feel like I am getting better at my fitness class. Like 2 weeks ago, I felt so bad that I was just like, I should just stop. Like, I feel like I'm never going to reach the other people and their level, especially with me just doing it once a week, because that's all I can afford. So yeah, I just felt really down about myself. However, in the week where I was feeling down, like right at the end of the class, I was able to somewhat do the tricks. And that just gave me so much endorphins, I guess you could say. So much a feeling of accomplishment, achievement. Like, no, I couldn't do what the other people could. I couldn't, what's the word? I couldn't execute it like the other people in my class, but I still did it in my own way. So I left that class feeling good. And of course I wasn't going to stop because I want to build muscle, and this class helps me build that muscle. Again, slowly, because it's only once a week. It's kind of like a calisthenics class in a way. So I'm just using my body weight and things like that. But this week, today, there was a girl and she was on the same level as me, basically. And I was like so beyond excited. Like just having somebody there and also struggling. I know that sounds kind of bad, but I don't know. Like we're struggling like together. Like we're cheering each other on, trying to get through this and trying to improve. So yes, having her there was very, very nice for me. I hope she comes again. I don't know. So since she's in this beginner intermediate class, I'm assuming that she's done a few classes before. She just does them on other days. Because she wasn't like a beginner, of course. And people seem to know her. So I'm hoping that she starts coming regularly to my class. Please. So I don't feel so alone. But yeah, that was my workout class. As for my drawings today, I did do 3 hours of drawing. Yay. I'm very proud of myself. I drew, well, a lot of them were kind of like follow alongs. So one painting was a follow along of a flower field with trees in the back. Another painting was a kind of a follow along to painting clouds. So I like clouds. I adore clouds. They're freaking gorgeous, beautiful. So I really want to learn how to paint them better, especially trying to learn slightly quickly, because I am actually in Loish's Patreon, and she hosts a Secret Santa event for like art drawings every year. Last year I wanted to join, but I was like, no, my art's not good enough. Like nobody's gonna want it. However, this year I've improved a lot, and I was like, let's do it. Let me join this and like just try. Why not? This is a challenge. And yes, it was a challenge because like the only thing I didn't want was landscapes. Was to have to draw landscapes. And my giftie was like, draw me a landscape. I don't care what it is. Just draw me a landscape. And I was like, oh. But at the same time, I guess I'm slightly kind of happy because it's pushing me out of my comfort zone. And I do want to get better at backgrounds. I do want to get better at landscapes. I want to be the type of artist that can put characters in a scene and things like that. So I'm kind of happy that I'm pushing myself, because if it weren't for this Secret Santa gift, I don't think I would be trying to learn how to draw clouds right now, even though I love them so much. On my Instagram, I have a whole little highlight of clouds and references, because again, they're beautiful and I do want to learn, but I haven't just sat down and learned it. So I am thankful for this event. And also the person said, they gave me a list of like books and movies and series they like. I remember they like Avatar: The Last Airbender and Lord of the Rings. I was like, well, I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. I have listened to the Lord of the Rings, not completely, but I do like it. However, trying to draw something from there, I would I wouldn't even know where to start. So Avatar: The Last Airbender it is. And my first idea for it was kind of having like Katara and the rest of the gang like on the ground having a picnic, and Katara's like waving to Aang, who's on Appa, in the sky, and the sky would be filled with the clouds. So it's like a beautiful like pink sky, pink clouds. Like I can picture it in my head, but trying to get the picture out of my head and actually drawn, it is more difficult. But I'm going to try to push myself to do it. So I did have a draft of Appa in clouds with Aang, no Katara or the gang on the ground with a picnic, because I wasn't sure how I was going to execute it fully yet. But now, let's get back to what I'm drawing currently in the video. So this has become my little teddy bear OC. I still don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Maybe they're non-binary. Why not? They're a bear. They're a teddy bear. So I think I kind of like the non-binary. I just came up with that. They have no name, of course, since I just decided they're non-binary. But this is my very first drawing of them. I do want to create more cute little characters to just put in silly little scenes, like having tea, having a bakery, just doing things and having fun. Mainly because I do want to become an artist who sells their art. I don't only want it to be fan art, which I will draw fan art because I love my shows. I love them so much, and I want to bring my ideas to life. But I also want original characters, because I think relying solely on fan art is kind of scary. I know people do it, but at the end of the day, those aren't my characters, you know? Again, I'm sure people have had their whole careers just drawing fan art and selling at conventions or online and things like that. But still, I want to do that, but like I said, I want to have my original characters as well. So the teddy bear with the heart wings, my first OC. Later on, I do draw a dragon. I do really want a dragon as an OC, and I drew one. I don't really like the color scheme. It's a Chinese dragon, kind of like Mushu from Mulan, so really skinny and long, kind of like a snake. But trying to find a good color scheme is like ripping out my hair. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. I understand why Haku from Spirited Away is just white with teal. It looks good. It's simple. It's easy. I kept while I was drawing my dragon OC, I kept accidentally almost kind of copying Haku's style or design, and I'm like, no. I don't want him to look anything. I don't want him to have the same color scheme as Haku in any sort of way. I'm not trying to get sued by Studio Ghibli. No, thank you. But yeah, so for this day, I'm trying to remember if I had an idea, like a specific idea, or if I was just wanted to draw. I don't think I had a specific idea. I just knew I wanted to draw something cute. So I went on Etsy, and I literally think I put in like cute animals or something like that. And I was just looking at everybody's paintings and drawings and stickers and trying to come up with my own little bear OC. Yay, now we're on Thursday, Wednesday? I don't really know. November 5th. And here I am drawing my holiday card, which I have completed. Yay! And I have sent it out to people that wanted one. That was actually a lot of work because I printed and I cut the card myself, along with writing a little note in every card. And that was a lot of work. I think I sent out probably about 25 to 30 cards. And to do it all probably took about 5 hours. I was like, oh my gosh. I kind of want to do this every year, creating a Christmas card and sending it out. But I'm like, do I want to after all this? I think a big part of it was, printing out and cutting. That was probably like half the time. But writing also took a lot. I was like, oh my gosh, dang, bro. I was trying to write. I didn't want to just send it out with Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Like yeah, I'm pretty sure that's fine, but I wanted it to be a little more personable. So I was trying to figure out like different things I could write in a card for different people. I did have like some little stories that I would repeat to multiple people. So I was just trying to be a little personable. But some of the people that I sent cards out to, they did receive them and they were all very happy. People have told me they all love the design, which I'm super, super grateful for. I did take a little bit, or it did take some thinking for me of what I wanted to draw. I can't remember how. Well, I think I always had like an idea of wanting for my card to be Pokemon themed, just because like a lot of people know Pokemon. At least a lot of people my age. I did send out some cards to people who are a little older, so I have no idea if they'll know what I drew. But it's cute. Okay, it's cute. They kind of look like cats. So why not? But yeah, I had the idea of wanting to draw Pokemon. I'm like, okay, what am I going to draw with the Pokemon? Like, what are they going to be doing? So again, I'm pretty sure, I went on Etsy and I just typed in Christmas cards. And I was just scrolling, looking at people, what they did. And I looked at enough references and was like, okay, I'm going to do this kind of style of a card. Oh, which reminds me. Okay, I just thought of another person to add to my Christmas card list. Okay. All right, I will have to do that tomorrow. Anyway. So yes, and the reason... So I knew I wanted to be Eevee evolutions because, again, a lot of people love Eevee evolutions. They're cute. And so I chose Flareon, Empoleon, is that how you pronounce it? Leafeon, and Sylveon. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce their names. Whoops. Ooh, I played the Pokemon games when I was young. I don't really play them anymore. Oops. But yeah, and so I asked people who wanted the Christmas cards to fill out a form and also list their favorite Eevee evolutions. And that's how I came to choose these 4. These were the top. And with all that being said, I think I will be ending the video here. I think I said earlier that I wanted it to be an hour long because I have so much footage. But now, tomorrow, I'm recording this voiceover on Thursday, December 4th. Tomorrow is Friday, December 5th, which is when I want my videos to come out on Fridays. So I'm just going to end this one here. So thank you so, so much for watching. And remember, if I can do it, you can do it. So keep going. I believe in you. Bye.